Welcome to The Buried Truth. Today, we're uncovering a case so chilling, so unbelievable, that even veteran investigators still struggle to explain it. This is the story of an 8-year-old girl whose final drawing exposed the person responsible for her death, a person everyone trusted. Our story begins in 2011, in a peaceful town just outside Denver, Colorado. Young Lily Hanson was an imaginative, bright child, always drawing, painting, and filling her notebooks with colorful stories and happy characters. She was the kind of kid whose laughter filled every room. But just weeks before she disappeared, her artwork started to change. Her vibrant, cheerful drawings became darker, stranger, and disturbingly detailed. One picture in particular caught her mother's attention. It showed Lily standing next to a tall, shadowy figure with hollow eyes and a crooked, unsettling smile. Beneath it, Lily had written a title in her childlike script, "The Man Who Watches Me." At first, her mother dismissed it as just a product of a child's active imagination. Kids have nightmares. They invent monsters. It seemed like nothing out of the ordinary. But Lily's fear was real. She told her teacher that the man comes inside the house when everyone is sleeping. She described him moving through the rooms, a silent shadow in the night. Still, the adults in her life struggled to believe her. It sounded like a bad dream, a story made up to get attention. No one considered that it might be a cry for help. Then, one cold March evening, the nightmare became reality. Lily vanished from her own bedroom. There were no signs of a struggle, no forced entry. The front door was locked. The only clues were an open window and a missing child. The quiet, peaceful town erupted into panic. The community mobilized, with police launching a massive search effort. Volunteers combed through dense forests, neighbors checked their properties, and helicopters with thermal cameras scanned the outskirts of the city, hoping for any sign of the little girl. Days turned into weeks, and hope began to fade. There were no leads, no suspects, no ransom notes. It was as if Lily had simply disappeared into thin air. The investigation was at a standstill. Until 3 weeks later, a hiker stumbled upon Lily's small pink backpack near an abandoned cabin deep in the woods. Investigators' hearts sank, but they knew this was their first real break. Inside, nestled among her school supplies, were her notebooks, the ones filled with her drawings. As they carefully flipped through the pages, a disturbing narrative began to emerge. Some drawings were blurry, rushed, and chaotic, a clear reflection of her growing fear. But one drawing, her very last one, stood out. It was a clear, detailed picture of the same tall man from her earlier drawing, the man with the hollow eyes and crooked smile. But this time, Lily had added a crucial detail that everyone had missed: a ring on his finger. It was a distinctive silver ring with a large black stone set in the center. Investigators stared at the drawing, a cold realization washing over them. This wasn't a fantasy monster. This was a real person. Lily had been trying to show them who was tormenting her all along. They immediately began to cross-reference this detail with everyone in Lily's life. Friends, neighbors, they found a match. The only person who wore a ring exactly like the one in the drawing was her mother's boyfriend, Daniel. Daniel was known as a calm, kind man. He often babysat Lily. He was part of the family. A man nobody would ever suspect of anything sinister. But as detectives looked closer at Lily's final drawing, they noticed something else. In the picture, Daniel wasn't just standing there. He was holding something in his hand, a set of keys. They were identical to the spare set of house keys Lily's mother had reported missing months earlier, an incident she had long since forgotten about. The pieces were falling into place, painting a terrifying picture. Detectives brought Daniel in for questioning. He was cooperative, calm, and expressed his deep concern for Lily. He played the part of the grieving family member perfectly. He denied everything, claiming he loved Lily like his own daughter. But then, investigators placed Lily's final drawing on the table in front of him. He froze. The color drained from his face. His hands, resting on the table, began to tremble uncontrollably. He stared at the child's drawing of him, the ring, the keys. His carefully constructed facade shattered in an instant. He stammered, his confident denials turning into incoherent mumbles. Finally, he broke his gaze and said the only words that mattered: "I want a lawyer." Only then did investigators uncover the full, horrifying truth. Daniel had stolen the house keys months before. He had been secretly entering the house at night, long before Lily disappeared. He was the man who watched her sleep. He was the shadow in the halls. Lily had seen him. Lily had recognized him, and Lily had drawn him. What she couldn't articulate to the adults in her life, what she couldn't get them to believe, she told them through her art. When officers searched Daniel's truck, the physical evidence sealed his fate. They found microscopic fibers from Lily's favorite pink pajamas embedded in the seat fabric. They also found soil samples on the floor mats that matched the unique mineral composition of the Rome remote area where her body was tragically discovered soon after. The evidence was undeniable. In court, the prosecution didn't just rely on the forensic findings. They used Lily's drawings as a timeline of terror, visual record of her escalating fear, a desperate warning to the world that went unheard until it was too late. Her art helped reconstruct the sequence of events and systematically dismantled Daniel's web of lies. During the sentencing, the judge described the case as one of the most haunting examples of a child speaking beyond her own lifetime. Lily's drawings, once innocent and colorful, became the voice that brought justice. Daniel was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. This case serves as a heartbreaking reminder that sometimes the most important truths are hidden in the smallest details. And it shows us that children often see and understand danger long before the adults around them are willing to listen. Lily's story is a tragedy, but her legacy is one of incredible courage. Her art, her voice from beyond, ensured the monster who stole her life would never harm anyone again. Thanks for watching. If you found this story as compelling as we did, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next investigation into the buried truth.